Good morning, my friends. Today, it's an overcast, cloudy day. Nothing much to say about it. Kind of pretty boring, pretty mellow. Doesn't look like it's going to rain at all. It just looks like it's just going to be boring, cloudy day. Today, I'm feeling a little bit spacey. I had a lot of wine to drink last night. I don't normally drink that much alcohol to begin with, so I'm not exactly hungover because I managed to drink a lot of water afterwards, so I can rehydrate and prevent myself from having a hangover. But I still have that kind of groggy feeling a little bit inside of me, which is never really fun. So today I'm looking through my list of suggestions. One of them that's coming up is competition. Competition is one of those things that I think a lot of people are having issues with, especially lately, whether they think it's an amazing aspect about human life or whether they think it's one of the downfalls of human civilization. Generally, these are very masculine versus feminine viewpoints. Competition in general is a very sort of masculine dominant type of attitude to hold, and I'm talking about this in the binary yin yang type of scenario. It doesn't mean if you're a man you're going to be competitive, or if you're a woman you're not going to be. It's irrelevant at that point. But I will say, competition in general isn't good or bad. I don't think there is any strong inclination to have any strong opinion about competition. I think competition has its use in the world and how we see it. It's very important that we have some competition so that people, have a drive. They have a reason to get up in the morning and do something, and that's what competition does for people. It gets you motivated. There's some people I know who say competition is a bad thing, but you see them competing in other areas in their life and they're not even realizing it fundamentally, but they see competition in the exterior world from other people. They like to look at other people, not to themselves, and they see that as a bad thing. So competition is one of those things where the it can easily, it can erode a human's capability of doing the best, and that's when competition devolves into pushing other people down. And I think that's a very important distinction to make, that there is different kinds of competition. There's competition that's all about lifting yourself up and making sure that, all right, I'm going to do the best that I can. You're not focusing on the other people. You're just competing with yourself for the most part. And I think that's one of the most productive ways of competition, is when you're just competing against yourself, because you're not focused on the other people. You're not distracted by them. You're not going to be jealous of other people, which I think is the most important thing. You're going to be in a state of bliss. You're not going to be jealous of yourself, right? You're going to, if you're in a race and you do, the 100-meter dash and you realize you get a time lower than your last time, you're not, you're not going to be jealous of your past self. You're going to be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? How am I going to improve this? How am I going to get to the next level? Because obviously I'm not doing something right. I'm not training enough or whatnot. If you look at someone else next to you who's running faster than you, you're going to be like, oh, that's not fair. He got a head start, or he has better genetics than I do, or he's, I don't know, just whatever. You can come up with any other excuse to prove that the reason why he won is from some random exterior motive that doesn't have anything to do with you. When you're competing with yourself, you take full responsibility for everything that you do, and that's going to push you to do better. When you're looking at other people, it's just jealousy. You're not improving yourself. You're just blaming other people for your problems, even though they have nothing to do with you. And that's I think the distinction in competition that people need to realize. Same thing in terms of business. You have these competitors that their main motive is pushing other people down, and because they want to achieve their level of superiority, and they don't want to do that naturally, in a sense that, oh yeah, make the best products so people naturally buy from us because we're the best company. It's, oh no, this other company might do better than us, so we've got to get rid of them so that we don't have to make better products. And that's when we have the cutthroat competition that is self-destructive, right? It's we have a a system where we create products, and that kind of competition is what destructs society in a way. It's actually very counterproductive in a lot of ways, and that's shown evidently even within companies themselves. You have employees pushing other people down so they can get ahead, and that's not actually a constructive way to go about anything. You're not actually bringing anything important or beneficial to society or your company or to your sport or whatever. You're literally just keeping it at a level and then bringing everything down. You're just pushing everything down because you don't want to have to put in the extra work, which I think is not good. And of course I've talked about good and bad aren't real things. Of course, in the grand scheme of the universe, whether or not you compete in the proper way or you compete in a cutthroat way, the universe won't really give a shit about you if you do either one. But there is a level of cause and effect that is a law in the universe, and whatever you do, it's going to come back to you. It's not because the universe cares. It's just you put something out there, it's going to come back. It's just how everything works. So you are going to put in a cutthroat experience by pushing other people down. You're going to get pushed down equally as well, and that's going to affect you in the long run. Whereas if you're competing just with yourself, people are still going to try to push you down, but the thing is that you're not affected by it because all you care about is doing the best that you can. You're not focused on the other people, which I think a lot of people fall into that trap. They compare themselves to other people. One of the most important things I learned about in competitive sports when I was doing either swimming or cross country or whatnot was that if you're focused on the person next to you, you're already losing. You're not doing as well. You have to look ahead. You have to look at the finish line. You're not looking at the person next to you and trying to beat them. You're just looking, all right, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go as fast as I can, right? Winners always are looking towards the end goal. They're not looking to what's happening next to them. Even if the person next to them wins, it doesn't matter because they know that, all right, I did my best, and whether or not I won is irrelevant. Winning isn't a real thing. Being the best at something isn't, it isn't really constructive in any way. If you say I'm the best at running, okay, at running, but if you say you're just the best in a general sense, that never really exists in terms of anything, really. You can say Usain Bolt, right? He's an amazing runner. He's the best at the 100-meter sprint. But can we just say Usain Bolt is the best just at everything? You can't. You can't say that about anyone. Being the best is not a real thing. So you have to think about constantly just improving on yourself, not focusing on being the best at something, because that's an impossible feat for anything. So there's not much else to talk about that. I just realized that competition is two different things, and I think language has failed us in that regard. It's given us a sense that competition is only one certain aspect, but I believe there's two different aspects of competition, and I feel like that needs to be reflected more in language, because competition can either be completely destructive and bring people down, or it can bring people up and push them to do the best that they can. And this whole divide of competition is good versus competition is evil is kind of a pointless argument, because there's different kinds of competition and different kinds of attitudes, different kinds of cultures towards the aspect of competition. So anyway, something for you to think about, and I hope you have a wonderful day.